Hi everybody, nice to have you here. And today I will talk a little bit about going back to basics. So, what do I mean with this? And why do I think this is interesting? It's the end of the year, and normally we get a lot of statistic from 2022, and some of them are really worrying, you know, and some are good. But 2022 have been a rough year for many people, and you see it. You see medicine use have gone up, drugs have use of drugs have gone up, use of alcohol are going up, and more depression than ever, and more suicides than ever. So you wonder why. We live here in the West, we have everything is fine, but my conclusion is after listening to these psychologues and so on, that it's people feel that they don't have any roots. They don't feel connected anymore. So why is that? What are we talking about here? Well, it's fundamental things about what a person is. As a gardener, they know that a plant with strong big roots are better than a plant with a small and weak root. If something bad happens, the weather change, or it gets too warm or cold or too much water, the plant with a small root will die, and the plant with the strong root survives. All of you, yeah, I know you want to go out, but you are a little bit sick, yes? So, and also for my tradition, my martial art tradition, in traditional Chinese Kung Fu, we say you have to have strong roots. You have to be good at your basics. Go back to basic. When something happened, go back to basic. And in martial art, it's very easy. It's basic footwork, punching, don't fall. You train your techniques and you get better and better. You do your stamina, you have good condition, you're strong, and so on. And if you don't do that, you cannot do these fancy movements that you see in movies and so on. But if you don't know the basic, if you don't have the tradition, if you don't have the structure or the design of that Kung Fu system or martial arts system, you get confused. You fail. You don't understand why you cannot do these advanced techniques you watch. You watch TV, you see Jackie Chan and so on, and wow, they can do all this stuff. Why cannot I do it? Why do I fail? Well, you don't have the basics for it, and so on. But if you follow the tradition, if you follow what your teachers tells you, that you need to train this first, and then you take next step, and one day you will do it. Yeah. And it always starts with basic, and you come back to basic. You have strong roots. So, what are the basic in society? What are the basic for us humans? Well, it's very easy, but at the same time, it's very hard, because we live in big cities today, and they are very complex, and we're working with very complex things. And all the basics are almost taken care of the society, so we are not connected to it. We're cut off from our own existence. So, I have six different things that are human roots, connections, or connection points, or things that are super important for people and humans to survive. And it's been that all the time. So, number one, air. Breathing. Yeah, we know that. Yes, of course. But what air are you breathing? Are you in a place where there is good air or bad air? And do you have control over it? Because that is, we don't think about it, but we walking around in gas. So for me it's easy. You see, if you are in a forest, you will always know that most of the time this is perfect air. So you don't have to think about it, yes? And you don't. A fish don't know that it is in water. It's just because it's a fish. But for example, when I drive from this place into the city, you come to this wall of pollution when you're sitting sitting in the car and waiting to drive closer and closer into the city, and it just get more and more stuck, and the pollution gets stronger and stronger, and after a while you get really headache. Then you understand, well, there is a difference on good and bad air. But if you are in the city all the time, you don't understand it anymore. You don't feel it anymore. It's just how it is. Yes. So the first choice we should do to feel connected to Earth and connected to who we are and what is beneficial for us is to find out where there is good air, and there we will be. There we place ourselves, there we place our body. With permaculture we can design it, but best is of course to be out in nature and so on, or do something else so that we have this connection. So air is much more, our breathing is much more deeper than we think. So breathing means the connection between outside and inside. The air comes from outside and into us, and then so we have this rhythm. We get the life rhythm. And it will be strange if I'm very calm and sitting still, but my rhythm is very high because I'm stressed. It disconnects us. The body gets confused, and after a long time it will collapse because it's not wrong. If I do heavy physical work, then my breathing is faster, but when I'm calm, the breath is slower, and so on. Speed is slower. That's the natural way. But in our society, with all the pressure, it's not always that this thing happens the way it should go. We don't breathe as we should. Next thing is that the breathing, when we start to focus on our breathing, it connects outside from inside, also mentally, external. We used to be very external. We see things, we work with things, we talk with people and so on, but our emotions are on the inside. So when we breathe and focus inside, we connect with our feelings. Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling angry? Am I happy? Am I calm? Or am I stressed? And so on. And this we should connect with outside, the effect. So how does the things that happens to me on the outside, the external world, how does that affect me on the inside world? And this, we can start to see this interaction and control it. If we have no control over it, we get confused and we get afraid and we get angry and we do not know, we don't understand why we act and do and feel like we do. So air and breathing, number one, is really fundamental to to feel connection to earth, to nature, and to ourselves. Number 2, water. What do you drink? Well, do you drink things that is good for you, or do you drink things that is bad for you? Well, you know. You know. Everybody knows. So, what is good? What is good things to drink? Yeah, it's of course in the summertime when it's warm, you go for a watermelon. That's the best thing. And not only that it's contains everything water should do, the function is correct. The watermelon is now finished in nature, and then we eat that and we get that kind of energy and that kind of water and vitamins and so on that is happening in nature at that time. It's have the right coolness and so on. Normally we do the opposite. We buy some strange drink and it's full of sugar, and it's cold because we want to feel the coolness and so on, even though it's not good for us and so on. Cold beer, yeah, that's really good. So we want to have the correct water, but in permaculture also we want to create and design so this water is close to us. Not only we growing, but also if you have a creek or you have some other kind of water source, so this is very good where you can get clean water. So you always have it. Then you feel safe. I have air, I have water. So, and I can always get it. It's not somewhere else, yes? And we are control of it. It's clean. It's not like the one you have home in your kitchen, the water coming, but you are not in control of that water. You don't know what they put in this water. We know that they put a lot of chemicals in it, so the water don't get bad and so on. These are really bad for us, but and we're buying water in plastic bottles. Yeah, that's really good. So we want to not only drink clean water and get a water source that is beneficial for us, we also want to have it close to us, and so we don't have to pay for it all the time, and we want to be in control over our own water, yeah, and that give you safety, give you some kind of route to the place you are and so on. The place you are, the place you create, give you this safety that you have your own water. You don't have to be afraid of being without, or that the water should be bad, or the price of food and water goes up and down and so on. Number 3, food. Yeah, that's a big subject. What is good food or bad food? But I will ask only one question here. When you grow your own food, who's gonna eat it? Well, yourself. So you grow it and you try to do it the best you can. You want to create the most beneficial food you can because you yourself want to eat it. You want to have it. What is the first purpose in a shop who sells food? Well, that is to sell food to earn money. So if they have to choose between having good food or food that they earn money on, which one do they choose? Yeah, we don't have to answer that. So this is the horrible knowledge that we cannot get good food in the shop. Sorry, there is no good food. Whatever you say, it's more or less bad in some way because somebody else first and most have to earn money on it. So then the third will be either you know somebody, your family, your friends, your own farmer, it's relatives who grow food, who you know and care for you and love you and want the best for you. They create the food for you. That is good. If that doesn't exist, then you have to start to grow your own food. Then you know. And one day you are better on it, and then the food is better. You take care of the soil and the landscape around it, and that makes the system more safe and better and more productive, and then you get even more food, and the food gets even more better. And one day you get really good at it, and then you have too much food, and then you can give to your friends and family and so on, and they will be happy, and they will be have healthy food, and now you have power. Now you're very powerful. You're strong and you're powerful, and you have the power to create your own survival. You have water, you have air, and you have food, and you can even give away food. You are a strong person in a society. You can help others, and that gives you a good feeling, good roots. Your roots get deeper and deeper in the place where you are and what you're doing. And it's very easy to understand what we are doing. You see it. You are with the finger in the soil. This is not rocket science. It's not far away. It's pure here. You grow the food and you eat it. And you understand the cycle of how everything works, why you are alive, what you have to do to continue to be alive. Sometimes it goes bad and you understand why. Sometimes it goes good and you're very happy. You know your own happiness. Why am I happy now? I have had a success. Why am I feeling bad now? I failed there. I did wrong. I know. So even though it's bad, you know why. So you're not confused even if it's bad. And you probably are smart enough so you can change it for next time. Number 4, somewhere to live, a house or apartment or something. I will not talk so much about it because we can argue about many things here and it's a big subject. But if you plant your house in your design where you have your good air and where you have your water and where you grow your food, it's very logic for you. And if you are like me out here, you actually can do also number 5, your own heat and your own energy, because you have some space and you are in control what you can do and cannot do. If you are in an apartment, you are not allowed to do most of things. You cannot have solar panels. You cannot make a fire inside the apartment. Then the police comes and the fireman and all this. But out here, you if something really crazy happens, you can always open up and make a fire and get some heat and cook something and so on. And you can choose to put these things in your house and so on. You can have your solar panels and you can have different sources where you can get your electricity and your heat and so on. So you can create more freedom, your independence, you take care of it yourself. You do not have to ask for permission for everything you want to do or need to do things that is beneficial for you. If the price goes up on something, or oil or gas or electricity, it doesn't matter that much to you. If you create your small little house and it's very well insulated and so on, you don't need much. So you make this, but this is hard for many people to build their own house and so on. So it's there. It's your safety. This is where you live. This is where you are. So this a house often that you create and build or move into and create your life around. it gives strong roots. It's just walking around, renting different apartments over all different apartments over and over again, because that doesn't create a fundamental safetyness or safety feeling or so on. And you listen to radio and TV, and they just heighten the rent over and over again. And of course, that's some kind of panic right now for many people. Number 6, community, your tribe, the people, your family, the people around you. Today, you are around working friends and colleagues and so on, and customers and things. That is not your tribe, that is not your family and so on. Can be, but often it's not. For example, if you're working in a shop, you meet people the whole day, but you don't know them. They are only there for stuff. Also colleagues and so on. They are bunched together there because they should produce something, or they should do something, a project together and so on. But it's nothing more than that. And we get confused because we are around people, but they are not our tribe. They are not our family or friends and so on. So they don't have that purpose for you. But you are with humans the whole day. So this is also a big confusion, yes? So we have to also create around your place and so on a place that is very cozy, very, nice and lovely, that people, your people, wants to come there, and you meet and you help each other. And here in permaculture we call it fair trade. And if you create all this around you, then your people will come. We say, if you build the habitat, the animal moves in. Yes? If you connect with people who have the same interest as you, who are with you, who knows you in and out, and you know them, and you for example exchange things, not like shop and business and so on, but you come every week, you come with 2 kilos of cucumbers because you know that your friend need these cucumbers, and you want the best cucumbers for him, so he's healthy. Maybe he has problem with the stomach, and you know he have problem with the stomach because he's your friend, and you talk and you have this connection, the real connection, not only fake connection on Facebook and YouTube and like this, but real connection. That gives roots. That keeps belonging. You have your position. You know what you're doing. You love what you're doing. You understand what you're doing. You know why you benefit from what you're doing and not doing. And you can share it with other people who appreciate you and the thing you do, because they also need the same thing. These are my 6 fundamentals for creating a good group. There are many others. You can take it, make it totally different, but this is the classical permaculture way of growing strong roots, have a good foundation in your reality, being one with nature, working with nature, and survive in nature. Then you can create this design in many different ways, and here are why it's so interesting. Some people like, for example, to grow vegetables. Some like to connect with people by helping other building water systems or for them, and then they connect and they share the same ideas. Other have lakes with fish and they connect in that way. This is the way they're doing. And some built food forests and so on. So it's not, permaculture is not one little small thing. It's not gardening. It's many things. I will not say all of it now because it's so much, but there are many ways to create this, what I just talked about. This was just the pure basic fundamental how you can do it, but I have not said how you should do it. That's just, this is the way we think to do it, yes. And it's a lovely thought, and for many this is what people wants to do. They have a very stressful life, they feel very insecure, they feel that they just get poorer and poorer and have less and less power. This is a way to get your power and your insanity and your logic back. But it's only the basics. But sometimes what works, and we know it in martial art, that the basic is the most important things. So that was for me. If you think this was interesting, please leave a comment, or if you think I'm totally out sailing, that is also okay, because maybe I am. I don't know. This is just my ideas and my interpretation of how I see permaculture for me. Yes, permaculture and my other martial art tradition, maybe my friends maybe say something totally different, probably. So, thank you for today.